Today marks the first day that we as a congregation have met in this space to inaugurate this venue, to consecrate it to be used for worship, as we just celebrate that God has provided exactly what He's promised. It's just the very first time that we've been able to worship, to preach, to gather together, to pray in this space, and it marks the first gathering of many as the years roll on.
Yeah, so what this day has meant to us has been such a faith-building thing for me, because seeing God's promises just being fulfilled and seeing that the things that He had promised like 28, 30 years ago, He has brought to fulfillment, and He's been so good, and that His promises never fail. And that's what's really been encouraging to me, that God is always working and He's always doing what He promises.
Yeah, today's been such a special day, but really an emotional day, a day of seeing the fulfillment of a promise that God gave us 28 years ago that seemed so big then, but now we realize how small it was and how faithful God has been in bringing it to completion. And gathering it together with this enlarged family, this wonderful family, we are just so thrilled to be able to say our God is faithful. Our God is a God who is true and good to His promises, and we know that the years that lie ahead. But I also want to use this time to just say that 2023 has been a momentous year, because in this year also we had the privilege of inducting our son as the lead elder, and we see that as such a privilege, and we know that God has great things in store for this church, and we can sense and just know that anticipation we had 28 years ago, we have that same sense of anticipation now of what God is going to do, and we give Him all the praise.
This day has great anticipation for me as I'm new to this community and this family. I just feel like God is stirring this anticipation and expectation in my heart for what He's going to do in and through this community, through this space. So this launch day is setting that stepping stone for what is to come, and just creating space for God to move. And I'm so excited to get my hands dirty in the work that God has for our community, for Edgemead, for Cape Town, and just being a part of that.
Yeah, so for me today, it really has been just a culmination of God's promises and His faithfulness. And as someone who's been on team here for 13 years, I just missed the last round of building, and that became my adopted history. And now today, as we celebrate moving into this building, it's my actual lived history. Having been here, having seen God's faithfulness and the way that He's provided for us has been so faith-building, so encouraging, and actually getting to be here for that process has been just wonderful.
Yeah, so I know there's been a lot of challenges and stuff that we've faced in the last few weeks, but I actually haven't seen them as challenges, but more as opportunities for us to trust God, for us to step into what He has promised, to know that He is so faithful, and the things that He's done, it's just been super incredible. Things that we thought would never happen, but yet He brought it about and made it happen. So God is really good, and there's these things that He's promised long ago and that He would do, and that's exactly what He's done.
At this time, at the end of any building project, there's always lots of challenges. But I think the encouraging thing to me was that many mornings I'd wake up thinking about this must be done, and then get to the office and someone else in the team or all of the team said, this is what God's been saying to me. And it was so incredible just to see how God is speaking through all of us. And so the challenges weren't something we had to shoulder for ourselves. And then, so we just want to give Him praise for the team that He's brought around us.
Yeah, and God has always put people in place right at the right time. And He's given us people that have been encouraging and have just held our arms up. And it's been absolutely amazing to have this family around us. Yeah. Every person is just so special, and there's been such an encouragement to each and every one of us, and even us as a staff in the office every day, just being there for one another has been absolutely amazing. We've just got that special bond which is just, it's a God thing, absolutely amazing.
Just in closing to say that we have treasured family culture an ethos in this church, and even in this time, that has just been in the forefront, and we just praise God for that.
Yeah, so in terms of all the challenges that we faced in the last couple of weeks building up to today, there have been so many practical things that we've had to run after. But honestly, the thing for me that I've tried to focus on is just making sure that we don't lose sight of Jesus and what He wants for us during this time. In Psalm 16, the Lord really challenged me just about how I've set the Lord always before me, and because He is at my right hand, I will not be shaken. And in the context of running around and trying to get stuff done and the stress and the pressure, that for me was the big challenge, just to keep the Lord in front of us and to be excited that He is building His church, He is doing what only He can do.
So with regards to the challenges that we faced over the last week, we've had a lot of them, but I've taken it as an opportunity to see it as an opportunity rather, to see how God is so faithful in what He does. And as we keep on moving forward, and as we've seen the things that He's fulfilled and the things that He's done, it just really builds our faith for us to step forward into tomorrow and to know that He's going to continue to fill this space and do a wonderful thing in the ministry of Linkway.